It started late at night, I can clearly remember. Pam was already drifting off as we talked about how loud the music was at the concert we'd been to. After all these years of metal concerts, we agreed things have been definitely louder this time. Hell, we were even discussing getting earplugs for the next one. The Airbnb we'd picked for the night was close to the venue, but in a pretty sketchy area. One of those old buildings with long hallways and thin walls where you can hear everything your neighbors are doing. We were lying in bed, and just when I thought we'd talked ourselves to sleep after all that random rambling, the first scream came. I was almost asleep when I heard it. "Help me, please." The high-pitched cry was distant, but clear enough that it jerked me awake. It sounded like someone sobbing while they screamed, like pure desperation mixed with terror. It seemed to be coming from somewhere outside the building, maybe from the street below. But it was hard to tell with these old walls and the way sound carried through the hallways. "What was that?" I asked, hoping Pam was still awake. She mumbled, rolling over to face me. "Did you hear that?" She was quiet for a moment, listening. Sounded like "help me please, maybe?" My heart started beating faster. It was 2:58 a.m. according to the nightstand clock. Who the hell would be screaming for help at this hour? "That's weird, right?" I said. "I mean, yeah, but..." Pam shrugged, though I could see she was more awake now. "This isn't exactly the nicest neighborhood. There's probably homeless people around, who knows?" That made sense. The area around the venue wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. Lots of dive bars, some sketchy motels, the kind of place where you might expect to hear someone having a rough night. Still, something about the voice bothered me. It sounded so desperate. We lay there in silence for a few minutes. I was starting to think maybe it was just a one-off thing when it happened again. Heel. This time it was definitely closer. Not from the street, but from somewhere inside the building. Maybe the floor below us, or down the hallway. The sound seemed to bounce off the walls in a way that made it hard to pinpoint exactly where it was coming from. "Okay, what the fuck was that?" I said, sitting up in bed. "It was definitely closer this time," Pam said. I could feel her tense up beside me. That sounded like it came from inside the building. That's messed up. My heart was really pounding now, but I tried to keep my voice steady. I didn't want to freak out Pam, and honestly, I didn't want to admit how scared I was getting. "This kind of thing happens sometimes in my neighborhood," Pam said, though her voice didn't sound as confident as her words. "You know, people having episodes, or just drunk hobos." I wanted to believe her, but something felt off. The way the voice echoed, the desperation in it. It didn't sound like a normal argument or someone just being loud. It sounded like genuine terror. We both lay there listening, but everything was quiet again. Just the occasional sound of a car passing by outside, and the building settling around us. We both lay there listening, but everything was quiet again. Just the occasional sound of a car passing by outside, and the building settling around us. Old buildings make a lot of noise, I told myself. Pipes creaking, floors shifting. Nothing unusual about that. I was starting to relax when I heard the third voice. Here. It wasn't a scream this time. It was barely a whisper, but somehow it echoed inside my head like it was being shouted through a megaphone. The word felt loud, impossibly loud, even though I could tell it was spoken quietly.